Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, it's overcast. It's in the high 30s. No wind to speak of, so that's not bad. Uh, the leading story, I think, that we're concerned about, and it's a close second place for the virus, is what's going to happen with Russia and the Ukraine. And there are meetings between Macron and Putin today. I don't know how they went. And then there was also a meeting between Biden and the head of Germany. And I thought that the reason they were meeting with Germany is we still hadn't nailed down an agreement with them. But instead, I think it's a press op to encourage the world that Germany is really aboard on this. But aboard means not any troops, not any involvement within the territory of Ukraine, and only in other NATO states that might or might not be attacked. And right now it seems that's highly unlikely, especially given the preparations that Putin has felt necessary to be ready to invade Ukraine. I also wonder if he hasn't signaled this so far in advance to minimize civilian deaths and psychologically to create a defeatist mentality among the Ukrainians. And I'm not sure what America or NATO has done has met that challenge psychologically. And given that Biden is not prepared, and I agree with him on this, to say no NATO, never to Ukraine, and we're not pulling back any of our missile defenses, I think we're at an impasse. And the only way that impasse can break, and it's not a good situation because at least China has pulled in support of Russia. Not a surprise. We don't know where Korea is. And the fact that we don't know may mean they haven't signaled that they're prepared to join Russia. North Korea is not exactly the most stable government in terms of the predictability of its actions. As for the virus, the phenomenon that is, I think, very dangerous for all of us is the notion of let her rip, let the virus do what it may. People not taking precautions and so forth, deaths increasing, the number of infections. This is 300,000, pretty serious numbers on a daily basis. And people who are disbelieving that the vaccine works because the version of the virus that it worked for is not working except to make us safer if we get the virus with the other variations of the virus. And I don't think that's a complicated problem to understand, but there it is. And I see as you probably do on social media all the time, say, I'm not going to do anything. And a couple of days later, this member of the family got it. This person died. They're going to funerals. People are defying the factual basis for what is a legitimate concern about this virus. Another thing that I'm fascinated by is the notion of Trump, that because there are persons of color investigating him and may prosecute him in Georgia and New York, that this is racism. Now, wait a second here. If this guy on TV and in person and repeatedly has lied about an election he didn't win and is on tape, particularly in the Georgia case, saying that all I want is these extra votes so that I can win the state that I lost, Georgia. And in New York, we have, in the case of the Attorney General, as a person of color, that there's a difference between the value you give properties based on whether you're submitting their value for either tax purposes or to get a loan. So this man, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His dad was a racist, he's a racist, and it shouldn't surprise us. But where's the pushback? Where is the pushback? This is the month, this is Black History Month. And this stuff is going on. The local newspaper has some local teachers saying, they're not going to have any teaching in Black History Month. Whoa! What is it about these bullies, these censors, these liars that others fail to resist. It's beyond me. And then another cute one, maybe in this same pattern, is up at Harvard, they have affirmative action. And there's been the argument made in court that, well, the people who are against this are Asian American, they're against affirmative action. And this is said by a person that doesn't represent anybody up there. And in the Washington Post today, there was an op-ed by one of the students who heads up these groups that says, no, we are for affirmative action. Anyhow, the world is in a very crazy place. So be well, get out, even in the, well, not so beautiful day. It's still nice to be out. All the best. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.